That's my dad.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss our favorites in TV and film. I'm joined here today by Anthony.
How you doing?
Zach.
Ciao.
And today, we don't have Xavier, but we do have a special guest, and his name is Chris, and he was here a couple episodes ago. Chris, introduce yourself.
I'm currently Xavier's permanent replacement. I'm better known as Code Gang as well. I'm glad to be here.
Nice. So today we're going to be talking about Fast X.
Yep.
And we brought Chris in because he's the our official car guy in the podcast.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I am not a certified, but I am a automotive photographer. I've also worked on plenty of friends' cars, so I'm merely speaking out of memory and everything that I failed at and learned the hard way from when I worked on cars. So I guess they consider me the car guy, the residential car guy.
Nice. So, well, let's just get right into it. What do you guys think of Fast X, or just initial impressions?
It was Fast and Furious. you can't... There's not much to say.
It's the new age of Fast and Furious.
Or maybe there's a lot to say.
It's like it's a weird paradox. Like there's not much to say, but there is a lot you want to say that there is to say. I mean, I will say that it was better than 9, Fast 9.
I think we can all agree on that one.
Yes, 9 was something else.
There wasn't anything too out there, like sending a car into space with rockets attached to it. It was more grounded by comparison, but far from being grounded.
Yeah, and not just any car, a Fiero of all cars, a Pontiac Fiero of all cars
in space. Yikes! But it was okay. It was okay. It's a Fast and Furious movie. It's okay for a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah,
but it's very like Fast and Furious-esque.
Yeah. What I've noticed is now they're kind of in this whole phase of box checking. I don't know if you guys notice, where there's certain key points in each movie that needs to happen, and they make sure you know it happens. And then once they've checked all the boxes, then it's kind of like
whatever's
up in the air of whatever's left in the junk drawer that they could pull out for the ending, and then they'll lead on to more movies because that's how they make their money.
Like, how else can we make this movie even more ridiculous
without getting to space?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like someone introduced Vin Diesel to MDMA, and now he's on a trip. Oh man,
Anthony, what did you think?
Yeah, it was better than 9, but that shouldn't be too hard because 9 was pretty bad, and I've liked the majority of these movies because just like they're stupid fun. 9 was just kind of stupid. It wasn't really fun at all. It made even less sense than all the other ones. But yeah, this one slightly course corrected. I feel like maybe after, obviously I think we all like 5 a lot. I think maybe like 6 or 7, it was like, yeah, they were still good movies. They were good action movies, but they were starting to get ridiculous. And then you saw that with 8. And then 9 took it to a whole new level. So I feel like this one brought it back to like 7 and 8 level of ridiculousness instead of part 9, which I'm fine with, but you also have to like make the action good. And so yeah, this one's pretty good. I think we made a couple weeks ago a list, like we ranked our where we would put this one, and this one for me was like I think it wasn't last or anything like that, but it was close to the bottom, maybe somewhere in the middle. But yeah, it was pretty good. But it makes me wonder what the next one will be because they touted, oh, this is a part 1 of 2 and maybe even 3 parts. I don't know if that third part's happening anymore just because this one didn't do too well.
Is it still in theaters?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still in theaters, but it just didn't do too hot as well as they wanted it to, money-wise.
What's the current gross?
So far, worldwide, it's made 697 million.
Okay.
And I think
it's pretty low.
the budget for it was
Like 300
ridiculous with like 300 something million.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's because Mr. I Love My Family wants to pay all his family members like $20 million each or something like that. So
That's
it's like
ridiculous.
the cast itself is like half the budget, which is pretty nuts. But who knows? I don't know if they'll do that next time around. But
Well, I mean,
It's
they
pretty
just have
crazy.
so many people that like, I don't know. I feel like
you keep adding more people to,
Yeah, they
to the
keep adding-
family.
Oh yeah.
Or to one guy in the movie, a terrorist organization. That he just calls it out. He calls it out plainly, where he goes, anyone that gets added to the family all of a sudden becomes a terrorist. And I thought that was a cool little play on the whole meme that's already been surrounding all of F1 franchises lately.
Or you mean the other way around? That they are terrorists, but then they join the family?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. We had Shaw at first. No.
Deckard Shaw and his brother. They were both terrorists at one point, going against the family, and then
No,
they
Deckard
joined
Shaw was the
family.
bad guy from 6.
6. Okay,
Yeah.
then his brother is
It's Jason Statham.
well,
yeah, but what's his first name?
it's not Ian, is it?
No.
I'm thinking of something else. I forgot what it was.
I don't know. It's just Jason Statham.
So him.
Jason Shaw.
Jason Shaw.
Well, in the like
The credits is just Shaw.
credits, it's just Shaw.
No
Well-
way. They actually got that lazy where they
Look
took out
at
his
7.
first
Look at
name.
Fast and Furious 7.
Well, him, like, he started off as, like, going out, like, seeking revenge.
Yeah.
And then he ends up kind of,
No,
like,
it is Deckard Shaw.
Deckard Shaw. And then
He's
what's the
Deckard Shaw?
brother?
That was
Yeah.
his brother's name.
He's Deckard Shaw.
This is what the Fast and Furious franchise does to you. Makes you forget all the
Too
weird
many
side
shots. Owen
characters.
Shaw.
Owen
Oh,
Shaw.
yeah.
Oh.
I was
All
close
Ian
with
Shaw.
Ian, like, Ian Owen, something. Because he was going after them for revenge for his brother. And in number 7 and number 8, it was
He came to help. Like,
then he came to help.
the kid.
And then it was Charlize
The Fate of the Furious.
in Fate of the Furious. Which, funny enough, I feel like that movie, Fate of the Furious, was probably one of the better ones in the franchise, weirdly enough. Like, it's not like top 3, but it's definitely like in the top half of the 10 movies.
I think you're on a solo hill on that one, buddy.
Like, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't terrible, but it did stick to some sort of dynamic that they've been sticking to in that few years.
I like the twist with Vin Diesel.
like Vin
Going
being
against-
the bad guy.
Yeah, going against family.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie. For a good reason, actually. Like, it wasn't like,
Dumb.
yeah, it wasn't like something stupid.
He was still beating everybody with his car. And
Yeah.
then he was like a SWAT member, like with all this armor on and everything.
Yeah.
It was nonsense. You know?
I gotta rewatch that.
And then
I think I only saw it
zombie
once.
cars that were just she was controlling all the cars.
Oh yeah,
Which
with,
I'll be honest, that part was very fun to watch cinematically because it's so out of left field that you would never think a production would do something that big, especially with all of them coming out of the garage, which was real, wasn't even CGI. Well, I think some
Yeah, they
extra
had some-
cars,
like some
Some
parts
some
that-
were.
some extra cars that were thrown in that were CGI'd in, but majority of them were still real. They had to rent out a whole building, and it was a whole structure, and it was actually pretty insane how they filmed that.
Yeah.
And then that just reminded me, in 9, they did like this whole magnet thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the magnet with the cars. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, like I said, you notice how they started
Oh,
to check the
yeah,
boxes.
yeah.
Where in Fast X, it's
And a new
Rocket
gimmick.
League. You know, it's a new gimmick. Rocket League was this one, with Tim Burton apparently directing the cars going downstairs because it just looks so choppy.
Oh my gosh, that part
Did
was
not make
terrible.
sense
That's
You
what-
called it out in the movie.
Dude, it was terrible.
I was like, I looked at it. I was like, "There's no way they
Yeah,
cheaped
it
out
looked weird
on this
that the
part."
physics just were off a little bit.
They're all about stunts. Why not
It
just
didn't,
throw a car downstairs?
it didn't help
Exactly.
that I went there for my honeymoon. So like,
Oh.
so like Rome. So like I'm like, cool, Spanish Steps, and then it's just like you. Obviously, they're not there. You can't drive a car there.
Yeah.
And then like to see how jittery it was, it's like, dude, come on, it's so weird. And then you can even see like all the CGI breaks in the ground and like the puffs of smoke from whenever there was fires. Like, yeah, you can't
Yeah.
do special effects and destroy actual Rome. So like all of that has to be CGI. But I mean, for the most part, that scene looked good. But I'm saying in general, like the chase, but him going down the steps was
Yeah, that was,
It was really
very
bad.
noticeable.
Yeah.
Janky, yeah.
It was that, and it was also in the same sequence. He boosted towards a crane.
Yeah, the
And
very
somehow
Yeah.
caught
Oh, yeah,
the crane. You're like, how does a car defy
Literally
that?
rocket league.
that's what do you call it?
He picked up a 100 boost and and just steered.
What's these movies that Jason Statham is in? The ones that he was famous
Transporter?
for? Yeah, so
Transporter.
Transporter 2.
Oh, it had the thing with the bomb.
yeah,
underneath
Transporter
the car.
2 is like the blueprint of the ridiculousness of these movies. And
Well, it's the same director.
yeah, so it makes a
Oh,
lot of
that's right,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense that he had multiple moments like that, not just the crane part. There was the crane part, and then the race that happens like in the middle of the movie where he has
Yeah.
bombs on the two cars,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he decides to save
The
the girl. Somehow he saves her because he shoves her car and the car flips and like scrapes the bomb off the car. That's what happens in the Transporter 2, where
Yeah.
he just like goes off a ramp and like flips the car around. And
Tilted.
there's a crane there because of some construction, and so he goes off a ramp, tilts the car, and the crane goes click and like takes the bomb off with the
Like
with
a
the hook.
smooth- the
Yeah, it
smooth
was so
line.
stuff like that. It's like this
I gotta
guy,
watch
this
that
guy's done
movie.
it. Oh, that movie's amazing,
I gotta
but
watch
it's
that
amazing
one.
because it's stuff like this.
Very similar.
Yeah,
It's like
meant to be-
amazingly
it's
bad.
meant to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazingly bad.
Yeah.
Like he dodges bullets and he's not in the Matrix. So it's pretty awesome.
And it's also Jason Statham.
Yeah,
so.
and he's in this movie, so I bet you it was like a good reunion. Hey, what's
Probably
up?
nice.
I'm gonna make you the transporter again. And he was almost, but then they like cut it off.
But there's still
I wanted to see. I
there's
wanted to
still
see what he wanted to do.
holes. There's still holes in the franchise. So
Oh,
what
so
I
many.
mentioned earlier off recording, a friend of mine actually also watched the movie. He gave me a different perspective on what he was seeing and what he was interpreting. He remembered that in Fast 9 at the very end, they bring out the blue R34 GTR to symbolize that Brian's coming back.
Yeah.
And in Fast 10, no
Nothing.
explanation. Nothing. It's just
Yeah.
poof gone. Don't worry about it. He was never there in the first place. So
He was
now
there,
it's-
but then that was just for dinner, and then he went back to do daycare.
oh yeah, that's what it was.
I mean, they have his wife and
Show
his
up.
son in this movie,
yes.
and then but like
Know him.
no mention of where he is. I don't know.
Wait, his son was in the movie?
Yeah, the kid. No, in Fast 10, no. In Fast 9, yes. Fast 10, it was Dom's
Little,
kid.
yeah,
It's
little,
Dom's kid, but
Dom's kid that he
Could've
had
sworn
with
there's
the
another kid in this
Brazilian cop. I also forgot her name.
I guess not. But it doesn't matter. They keep trying to dance around Paul Walker not being there, but
But they had a scene in the beginning where they're referencing Fast 5, which I think we all kind of agree that's one of the better
Yeah.
Fast and Furious movies. But they were doing like pretty much the whole,
cut and pasting.
whole sequence from that movie, and then cut in like new scenes that they
Yeah.
brought in.
It was like, remember this scene?
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened
Here's
in between
Dante.
that. This
Well, guess
is
what?
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa was there the whole time. Did you not know?
And
This is the
Alan
bad guy's
Richardson.
son. This is the bad guy's son. He was there the whole time.
Alan Richardson was also there, just
apparently.
chilling.
I mean,
Two
we don't know
Aquamans.
that. We don't know that until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
when-
didn't catch
Well,
on.
you could see it. You could see part of it in the
You
the
see
first
like the back
sequence,
of his head.
but you don't really pay attention to it until you obviously see it the second time.
Yeah, when they were
The
recalling the scenes in Brazil, I was waiting for them to have like the circle with the red arrow, be like, "Did you see Jason Momoa was here the whole time?"
But I guess that's their easy way to show
Why?
Brian.
Why he's angry? and
Paul
Paul
Bryan.
Walker,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like their way, instead of having to do like a whole having one of his brothers stand in
Fill in
and then do like a whole
yeah.
CGI face replacement.
I mean,
It was weird though, because I remember reading articles that Vin Diesel was saying like, oh, this movie has like a great send off to, like a better send off to his character. I was like, but they already had that with Fast 7. And then now that we've seen the movie, it's like, where was this send off that you're talking about?
probably something in like part 2.
Maybe it's in part 2. Maybe part 2, he's actually going to be in it, and it's going to be CGI face.
I'd assume they're gonna save it for the very end, because they're not gonna show it now and then not do it in part 2. Like they're gonna wait till like the very last movie.
But yeah, he was making it sound like it was in this
3,
one.
then that's what
I think that part 3 just was like,
Depending on how much.
I think it was just now an idea, and then he was like floating it out there, and then probably now that this one didn't make that much, they're probably not going to do a part 3.
I really hope not. Like I'm fine with it.
I mean,
ending at
they already kind of, whatever was in their heads, they had it as a 2-parter. So like, why bother extending it? Just make your 2-parter and get it over with.
Like, stop milking it, please.
I just
I
feel
mean,
like
you can milk it, but like, do your 2-parter. They've already said they're gonna be doing spin-offs. So
Yeah,
do your
I'm proud of
2-parter
spin-offs.
and do your spin-offs.
Yeah.
Like, don't bother to stretch out your part 2 into another 2.5-hour movie, because this movie was what, 2.5?
Yeah,
2
this one
hours
was long,
20, 2:30.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Well, speaking of Jason Momoa too, like I think he was one of the better parts of the movie.
Yes.
Him and a lot of the new characters that came in. We did get a couple. We got like 4 or 5 new characters in this one.
Yeah, we had Mr. Nobody's daughter.
Yeah, with
We
Brie
Brie
Larson.
Larson.
Yeah, Brie Larson. We had
Daniela Melchior, which is Isabel.
Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah, Ratcatcher 2. Alan
Like
Ritchson.
the sister of
Yeah.
mother of Little B. Okay.
Yeah.
Little B.
Little Brian.
Brie Larson's character was Tess, and then
Tess Nobody.
you had Rita Moreno as Abuelita.
oh yeah, they also
Forgot about
showed.
that.
They also brought in Rowley from the hacker chick with that new hairstyle that she makes it look like Rowley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That weird bowl haircut. I don't know whose thought was a good idea.
But
And then we got everyone's
Sunday from Game of Thrones. Eh?
Yeah.
we got everyone's favorite Pete Davidson having a
Everyone's
cameo.
That was the best sequence I think
It was
I've
so
ever
weird.
had in
It was
any franchise.
random, but it was
was
actually
funny.
pretty funny.
And it was on brand for
Yeah.
him. So on brand.
The line that you're doing hundreds of dollars of damage. It's like it's making it sound like they were like destroying his face. It's like you're doing hundreds of dollars of damage.
With Hot
Like he was so
stripping in the
specific.
background.
You're doing like dozens of dollars.
I was confused about that scene. So they were like making this out to be like, oh man, there's gonna be this whole like sequence where everybody's high off these what was it? Was it
Like,
donuts or
the cup?
Oh no, the cupcakes.
Is it cupcakes?
Cupcakes.
I think it was
Something like
cupcakes
that.
or brownies.
yeah, the
But there's
weed
a-
brownies,
there
and
was
then like they
supposed to
just
be
cut
weed.
it out. Like
Yeah.
It was like
Nothing
one
happens.
one
second,
glimpse of like a.
Oh no, it was muffin. That's what it was.
Muffin.
It was a muff.
Because I remember forgot his name now. Damn. Han. There we go.
Damn.
When Han was eating it, and then he looks at it, and then everything gets kind of like
Distorted.
twisty.
And
he's
that
like-
was it?
He puts it back on.
And that was it.
And that was
Like,
it.
why even bother putting that in the movie if you're not gonna
Yeah.
if you're gonna cut out the scene? It's so weird. But
Yeah.
a lot of the scenes with that group, it seemed like it was like tacked on. It's like we don't know what to do with these characters after the mission at the beginning, so let's just like
Well,
give them random
and then
stuff
we had,
to do.
Roman, he had his like first leading a mission.
Oh.
Should have been a red flag from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Oh,
they
man.
gave him a mission to lead
Yeah.
And then he shows up in a gold Lamborghini, which
in
was
Rome.
yeah, and was apparently on par with a what was it, a Datsun, a 180Z, or was it a Fiat that they had, or Alfa Romeo, like a really small
I think he was an
I think
Alpha
that whole
the
chase.
the girl, I forgot what her name was. She says, I think she says Dotson.
I think it was a Datsun. I'm
Datsun.
not.
You
That's
got
how.
Dotson here like that.
Yeah.
And then
I don't remember what she said.
I
That's
don't remember
next
what
week.
car that was
Or
anymore.
Scott Eastwood came back as a little nobody.
Oh yeah.
for like 2 scenes.
Yeah, he was there for like 2 scenes.
Well,
he's like-
he was there for the whole Rome part,
Yeah.
almost.
Sort of. He was like in the car
In parts,
chasing
yeah.
them, and then
But then also when they go to the house after the agents had broken in,
and that's when he tells them like, well, we didn't give you guys any mission.
yeah.
Like, uh-oh, it's a twist.
But I feel like wouldn't he have like authority to like?
I mean, if Mr. Nobody disappeared because there's no Kurt Russell in this movie,
yeah, which
maybe
they've been teasing
wouldn't
since
he be in
9.
charge? I don't know.
In 9, they teased that like he disappeared because they were searching for the thing in that wreck or whatever.
But he was in 9 though. Kurt Russell was in 9.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, he gave that whack explanation as to how Han survived.
It was a cameo. Okay, it was
Oh,
a
okay,
cameo,
well,
but
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like a flashback.
Yeah, that was a
cameo.
flashback, but he wasn't like
He wasn't
present.
there in the
Oh,
present.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just.
I haven't
a
seen
flashback.
9 in years, so
No.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he wasn't there in the present.
I
So
feel like I have to watch like 8 and 9 again. 'cause
I saw
don't
9
remember
recently
much.
before watching this
Oh, okay.
one,
I'm sorry.
and I just remembered how bad it was, and it got worse.
I think I weird.
But
I'm probably gonna watch it one more time before 10-2 comes out or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Speaking of teasing, remember in Tokyo Drift that one motorcycle with 2 NOS cans on it? Does anyone remember that? It was an
Motorcycle?
orange like chopper
oh,
bike
like in the warehouse
in Han's
thing.
garage.
Yeah,
He had
And
a
it
lot
was
of nice
just
cars.
2 massive NOS
Uh-huh.
tanks as the fuel tank. They've been teasing that since Tokyo Drift, and we haven't seen it. And now that Letty's driving motorcycles, I'm still waiting to see that thing come out and make
should
some
be-
sort of cameo.
That should be their next.
Yeah, maybe they go to
Next-
That
Tokyo.
should, if
for
that
that.
that's
next
not in part
race.
3, if that's not in part 3, I want my money back.
What I don't understand is how does the guy from the group from Tokyo Drift become
Scientists.
crazy scientists, and they're not driving their cars anymore? You never see them go back.
You know what
in-
it is? Crystal meth.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
They
You see
made
how
him out
Bow
to be a
Wow
little
looked like?
kooky in the last one.
You
Man.
become a physicist and just say like, yeah, we can make this rocket and take a car up to space.
Yeah, and Bow Wow looks like he ate another version of himself.
Yeah, he gained a little bit of weight there.
But you know, he still has his character, which I do value a lot. He
Yeah.
still had that kind of humble kind of side of his character.
He's like
so-
the opposite to Roman, like always going back and forth, like they're always together.
Yeah. Which I'm hoping again they got to bring them back part 2 or something.
And then one of the newer characters from 9, we got John Cena back, and he
Yes.
was actually awesome in this movie.
Well, because he just became John Cena.
Yeah,
He,
Yeah.
he wasn't the bad guy.
Jacob, yeah.
Dom's brother
They told
in
him
9.
They told him be yourself.
Yeah.
Let's try be
Don't be
yourself this
Mr.
time.
Serious. Oh, I'm better than Dom
like
person.
when he showed up the first time in the house, beating up all those
yeah, he whooped.
guys.
His guards.
That was a
Yeah.
cool sequence.
Yeah, and they let him do the attitude adjustment through the second floor. I mean,
That was pretty awesome.
That was awesome. Honestly, I'll give him points for that one. I have to give him points.
He
for
was
that
just
one.
like the chill uncle, the cool guy.
Yeah.
And someone said this very accurately and about back to Jason Momoa's character is that the way that he portrayed this character was a great combination of Jack Sparrow and
Joker.
Joker,
I can see that.
because he has the look of Jack Sparrow for sure,
Yeah,
but he has like that crazy maniacal sort of like
Joker-esque.
Joker-esque kind of, but like a
in
like
a funny way.
no, I'm trying to compare him like to which Joker, maybe like a Hamill kind of Joker,
Yeah,
like for some parts, maybe a little bit of a Heath Ledger kind of Joker.
there was what's the one
really-
sequence in Rome where he's like on the computer and then he's like, oh, should I blow up the Vatican or whatever?
He's talking to himself.
Yeah, he's talking to himself.
He's
He's like,
pretending like the
And
two
he's like,
goons.
the guys behind him was like, guys, why would you tell me to do that?
yeah,
Oh, you
but
guys
I
are- he's like,
will.
you guys are going to hell for this.
Like those moments, like it's
Oh,
so cool.
the part where he has like the 2 dead bodies
Oh my
at his
God.
house, and he's,
Oh,
and he's
that's-
painting their nails.
Yeah.
It was like funny and like unsettling at the same
very
time.
very
Like, it's
morbid.
weird, man.
It was very. It was that's very.
He had like
very
their
Joker.
eyelids taped up and like there was like blood everywhere.
Oh, the second guy, we had like the tape right.
Yeah.
like that was great, but also like wow.
There's a couple things that we'll get to with Dante at the very end of the movie when we get there that I'll bring up because it's some plot holes.
They also bring in Dom's son as some rocket expert, also in the back of John Cena's El Camino, I think it was, with the rockets on the rails.
Yeah.
Hey, just go and unjam it. Isn't that what he said? He's like, just go fix it.
Yeah.
While they're going like 80 miles per hour driving.
And
I think all he really did was like hit it.
Yeah.
And he's strong enough to do whatever he did.
Yeah.
on his family.
On machinery, yeah.
And they're also recycling the transition of him going from one car to another, just like they did in
with Letty.
I forgot. I think it was
6.
6, where they had the hacker go from one car to another.
7. That was 7.
Oh, that was 7 with The Rock, and yeah, they're kind of recycling some action scenes just in a different way and different context. So it's you can see where some productions falling off where they got lazy with it, but then you see where they tried too hard, where they can't find that middle ground to just make it how it was. Or make it enjoyable again in a new age. I don't know.
Oh, also,
where it's like oh like come on, like that's not realistic.
Yeah,
like they don't make it somewhat believable.
Kind of like what you said earlier, with some characters turning like good and joining the family. We got Cypher now being good-ish, not good, but
that was somewhat the beginning of the movie, right?
Yeah, like she just comes in and
well, not that she was good, but it was more like
my
they have a common
enemy.
they have a common enemy. That threatened.
I just thought she was going to be like the main kind of like overarching villain throughout the rest of the series.
Me too. Yeah.
So I was very
That's kind of how
surprised
they made it out to be. I feel like they had said something about
with 8 and 9
because she was also the one. In 8, she was like the one giving like Shaw and all these other people the jobs to stop them.
And 9 with Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was that one character's name that he's now working with Dante in this movie? He's wanting to take down the family.
Ames. Aquaman 2.
From Aquaman from Smallville.
Yeah.
Wait, that was him?
Yeah.
That's Aquaman from Smallville.
What?
So
dude, he got
Aquaman.
huge.
Well, he's huge because of Reacher, the TV show.
You should watch Reacher.
Because when he was Aquaman in Smallville, and I just recently
he wasn't thin, but he was like
a thin, lean, cut guy. He's freaking huge. What the hell?
Smallville was also like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, like the show ended 12 years ago.
So he's probably like 40 now.
He's bulked up, dude. I didn't even realize that was him. AC? What? What? We're looking at photos, but what?
For the audio listeners, they're looking at pictures of shirtless men right now on Google.
And Zach is in disbelief.
And Zach is in disbelief.
I'm actually in disbelief. I didn't even realize.
I'm seeing stars in his eyes, a little twinkle. There might be a blush forming right now. Oh man!
I think he's gonna go.
I would not have.
He's gonna go to the ocean after this episode and look for.
I would
Aquaman.
not have guessed.
He's gonna sit by the shore side and just wait.
I would not have guessed.
Yeah, man. So 2 Aquaman in this movie.
That's crazy.
And they're both the bad guys.
Yeah. It's weird how fish turn evil, huh? Another thing is bringing people back.
Oh,
they brought back Han's wife, which I also forgot her name already. Giselle.
Wonder Woman.
That was
that was out of nowhere.
No, it was gonna happen.
It was gonna happen, but
it was the way they put it in the movie because it was technically, I think it should have been a mid-credit or scene, but the credits hadn't started yet. So it was just the scene after the end of the movie in quotes. Like once the screen turns black from the dam about to explode.
Yeah.
That should have been the end of the movie, like a to be continued. But no, the screen went black, and then it's the scene of them going to the Antarctica or wherever they were.
No, I think there were
no credits. That was the next scene of the movie.
No, I'm saying like that. The whole ending, the way that it ended was it was switching back and forth between what was going on with the dam, what was going on with Letty and Cypher escaping that compound.
Yeah, but it was weird. What were they trying to do? Like with the 2 scenes.
It would have made more sense as a end credit scene.
I feel like they also had too many different storylines that it was so hard to then keep up. They had about 3 movies in one.
I was waiting because after what was it? There was like the raid on Jason Statham's house, after him and Han like beat up all the soldiers.
Which he was only there for
Jason Statham was like, they find out that he's going after his mom, so he's like, I'm about to start like burying bodies or whatever. I was like, oh, I can't wait for this, and it never happened.
Yeah, wasn't that
it never happened?
That was the only scene he was in.
That was like the main scene he was in.
And
which they're probably going to push it off till the next one.
I hope the beginning of the next movie. Let's not start with the dam blowing up. Let's start with Jason Statham putting bodies in the ground.
Maybe that'll be the plot for Hobbs and Shaw 2.
No, I don't think they're making a Hobbs and Shaw 2.
Well,
I think.
No, they're making.
I think what they're gonna do is
Hobbs 2 or whatever it's called.
Whatever they had for like Hobbs and Shaw 2 is gonna be kind of like merged into Fast X Part 2.
I guess. And then it'll probably go out again.
Plot twist. The Rock is also back.
Yes, but I'm more surprised at the fact that he's back because of outside of the movie issues, not because of what was inside the movie.
Yeah.
Because it made no sense that all of a sudden The Rock and Vin Diesel, Vin Diesel, all of a sudden are not friends anymore, and he's announcing he's never going to the Fast and Furious franchise anymore, and then all of a sudden he's back.
Yeah.
He's back, and then he said, like, after the movie came out, he was like, yeah, we, like, squashed the beef, like, last summer or something like that. I was like, you mean, like, right after
Black Adam failed?
Yeah. That's probably when they squashed the beef.
Did that movie already come out a year ago?
It came out in...
No, it came out early.
October, I think. September, October of last year.
Oh.
But yeah.
Because they could have just filmed
pretty coincidental, pretty coincidental that he's like, oh, the beef is now squashed. It's like, well, because you probably want to make some money right
All you got to do is leave DC and go back to Fast and Furious.
I mean, I don't know.
Back to your family.
I don't know if he would have made 9 better because that movie was just terrible, but it would have been cool if he was in it.
Because Black Adam isn't happening, right? Like,
what do you mean?
A sequel.
It happened.
Like the sequel, I mean. Like,
he's
not going to continue.
It's a sad thing that it happened.
DCU is done.
Yeah. Well,
DCU's done.
Which, tune in for next week. We'll do a Flash episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess with Black Adam, like a one and done kind of thing.
But any other memorable or fun
moments
you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about kind of also a Rocket League moment with John Cena turning his rockets like downward to shoot himself.
Oh yeah,
to shoot himself over the
flip
median.
over and explode.
Yeah, he's like,
he obviously is.
I'm gonna in quotes sacrifice myself in my car to land upside down on like 4 or 5 cars and explode all of them instantly.
Yeah, there's no way
to save my nephew.
Or there's no way that he is dead. Sorry.
And I also like the reference that they made to Top Gun in Fast and Furious X when they turned a kayak into like some glider jet thing with a kid in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
you know.
In the plane sequence, we had the cameo of Paul Walker's daughter.
Yeah, she was a stewardess.
She was
in the plane sequence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually have no idea. Actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the short hair
so
that
cool.
that gives him the alcohol.
That is so cool.
Quite, when I was watching this one, I thought we were gonna get a cameo in the plane sequence for some reason, either Kevin Hart or Ryan Reynolds. Wasn't it because of Hobbs and Shaw? Because he was also in a plane.
Oh, that would have been funny. That would have been hilarious.
Wait, both of them?
Yeah, they were both in Hobbs and Shaw.
I don't remember that, to be honest. Again, I saw that movie
because Ryan Reynolds is like an agent or something that they're friends with. So I wonder if he maybe will show up in
probably
part 2.
I mean, it's confirmed. I mean, yeah, he's in the franchise in a way, so.
But he's not family.
But he's not family.
They're not doing Red Notice. This is Fast and Furious.
Wow, yeah, they all
are.
Red Notice 2.
Oh, wow. That did not
Which I heard they are doing that.
I can see that.
I never saw the first one. So.
There was another.
This is what you expect.
There was another moment that I really liked. I don't know if they meant to put this in the movie or. Oh wait, one more thing. They brought in Dom's mom.
Yeah.
Grandmother.
Yeah, not mom.
Yeah, grandma.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be the mom.
Yeah.
I thought that was the mom.
Rita Moreno.
So that means she's the great grandma to the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's the mom? Which was so out of left field. I mean,
so
no even mention.
So how old is Dom? And how old is how old is
Dom?
The grandma?
Probably almost 50. In real life, he's 50, right?
Yeah.
In his 50s.
He can probably play off as like a 40-year-old.
Right. So if his grandma, she has to be like 80.
Because the mom
Aged.
would be 60.
Probably at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
at least 60.
Now, in that same kind of setting where you are introduced to her, I noticed that next to Letty, they left a blue seat open. And I don't know if they meant that to symbolize that Paul Walker's there,
Probably.
because that would have been too much.
Yeah,
of
he's always
coincidence.
late to the party.
Or maybe
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
true.
meant for the grandma. I don't know if she sat down.
I think it was meant for Dom because he was standing up the whole time. But in my eyes, that was for Paul Walker, and it was just a little symbol.
And in that sequence, a little bit before, he's in like the little shed looking at all the photo memories, and then you hear the little the song, the piano from the song of
Yes.
Seven.
Yes,
yeah, when-
and it
when
was
the grandma was
immediately
talking.
from, "Hey, I'm excited to watch this movie and hope that it's actually not this like that bad." And then all of a sudden, oh, depression.
Yeah.
Man,
It's like, why'd they do that?
they go from exciting, happy, oh my god, we get to see everyone again, to remember? Do you remember? You remember, right? They just nail that in the very beginning, so you don't forget. And then you have hope through the whole movie that some sort of weird cameo is gonna be, I guess, Paul Walker's brother.
It's like
at
you
this point.
God,
want there to be a cameo,
before,
but you
earlier.
don't want there to be a cameo.
But I've seen Cody Walker in person. He could play Paul Walker, and you will not tell the difference.
I can see
He
it.
played him at the end
At
or in
the
some
end.
moments of 7.
Like some like little scenes.
Yes, and
I mean, yeah, he
they
could
could
pull it
easily
off.
have him there
and
in
then
the
just
movie.
deep fake, like only deep fake a little because he looks like him.
Yeah, especially with what's coming out now with Unreal Engine and all these other AI CGI stuff is that makes
Like
movies.
that's where, if you're gonna spend 300 million, that's where you spend your money on. If you're really gonna bring Paul Walker back, spend your money on good CGI so that it looks like Paul Walker, and then don't pay every single person on the cast $20 million.
Yeah, they had
Like,
they
it's
had
ridiculous. Like maybe your top 3 get 20 million, but at this point there's like 15 characters. Are you gonna pay all those people $20 million? It's insane.
Yeah, they spent millions of dollars to bring Michael Jackson on a hologram. I think we could deserve Paul Walker back in Fast and Furious, at least for one part of this movie.
And I'm sure they have a lot of like archive footage that they could kind of like.
And they could
Oh,
even
yeah.
make it the simplest thing where maybe it's like the final scene where they're doing some crazy car action sequence, and then a car comes out of nowhere and it's him, and so all you have to do is really replace the face because it's just somebody in a car, and you see that it's Paul Walker in the car helping them out in the last sequence, and then it'll give everybody like a big cheer, and then you don't have to spend too much money on
Or
that.
like get like them all together and you just you don't
li-
see the face.
You
see
literally
the-
get like he comes in the car,
back.
you see his face for 1 second, and they all like get in a line and do like a Power Rangers activate, and they like something like that. And all their cars,
and
That's
then a
amazing.
tank out of nowhere. Say we could write the next movie,
guys, we got a tank. Like Ludacris has to say, we got a tank again.
Guys, we could
But-
write the next movie. I mean, it's so easy.
I mean, we
There's
probably
a
could.
lot of potential.
But one of my favorite moments was at the end, because that whole last sequence was like multiple sequences in like one long action sequence.
Yeah.
But it was the part with the helicopters, and they shoot at Dom's car to try to
And he
yank
brings
him
him down.
down. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
he somehow destroys 2 helicopters by himself with his car because accelerating, accelerating your car
that
increases the weight of your car, which allows the car to come down and yank the helicopters to hit each other.
That was another one of those ridiculous stunts that you just it cannot.
It was-
I mean,
It's
it's
not-
better than the Tarzan swinging.
from 9.
Yeah,
The
But-
Tarzan.
but the part I love the most,
It got hooked to the
Yeah.
the part I love the most is after they were already destroyed, the helicopters, he still had them hooked to his car, and so he's still chasing Jason Momoa in his car because his son is still there, and then he devises this whole geometry plan of okay, if I do this, I'll be able to knock his car and then like get my car close to theirs. So
Oh, it was like a 360
So he
swap
ends up
the kid.
like spinning his car around. So that means his car was spinning what's left of the helicopters around. And to me, it looked like, you haven't played it yet, but I want you to. It looked like Kratos from God of War with the freaking blades of chaos, but he had blades of helicopters. That's what it was. It was just helicopters.
Well, I mean, in God of
He
War
was swinging it around.
2018, he's got something kind of.
He was swinging
Kinda
them
like
around
that,
like
swings
he
it
had
around.
blades, and then he does geometry in his head. He's like, if I do this at this moment, at this velocity, and then what? I don't know what happened, but his son got into his car and he saved the day. But it was ridiculous, but it was hilarious. It was awesome.
What took me out of that scene a couple of times was when they would show the car like doing like a spin, like a 180 or something. You know the car is slowing down, but then
keeps speeding up.
But then they'll switch it to like the cockpit where they show Dom in there, and then the car looks like it's flying. I'm like,
right.
Okay, like again,
they don't understand physics.
Yeah, the physics just don't make. But that's if you're really paying attention.
And
if you're really paying attention,
and
then
the creators are clearly not.
Yeah, so, which is why they have to cut it every time it looks like the car's going to go slow to make it look like it's still going like at 100 miles an hour. It's just
and then right after that, we get 2 Optimus Primes.
Oh my god, dude.
with the semis.
That trap. I don't know what road that is, where it's like a one-way road, and if you just plop a huge truck there, nobody can get by.
Well, it was a 2-way, but my thing is that why couldn't Dom just like drive like right towards like into one, and then like last second just like
no, but it wasn't a 2-way. I think by
it was a 2-way.
It was like a 1.5.
It was like
It's a
one
2-way.
lane.
Guys, let's not forget the whole premise of those 2 trucks was they were going to explode if he went towards one of them. So if he went towards one, even tried to go around it, he would have exploded and died.
My plot hole.
But they only blew when they touched. When they touched tips. They only blew when they touched.
He had
I don't know what Fast and Furious movie. I think he watched Fast XXX. Completely different.
Fast Triple X.
Oh God.
State of the Union.
Oh no.
That's the other Vin Diesel.
Xander Cage is back.
Oh, yeah.
Xander Cage is back.
A whole porn franchise. Oh, no.
Who's gonna say Vin Diesel? Vin Diesel.
Wait, I just realized if it's called Fast XXX, it might only last like a 10-minute movie, not really like.
So
It's not lasting 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You want to try Vince Diesel? That's what they say in the movie.
So my part was Dante planted bombs on that dam a while
knows
ago.
when? Yeah, who knows when?
So
that damn.
how did he know Vin Diesel was going to drive? Vin Diesel could have driven anywhere else.
Well, that's the whole
That's
point.
another plot hole.
Yeah.
No, that's
No,
the
man,
whole
that's
point.
just how smart he was. He thought 3 moves ahead, and he was like, "Well, if he does this, I already got my plan down there. If he does this, I didn't make that plan. I just know he's gonna jump off the. He knows he's crazy enough to jump off the
like geometry and physics and calculations. That like, bro.
Oh yeah.
He's good with calculation.
And then we got that final sequence, or close to the final sequence, where you see Alan Richardson also show up in that dam, and
You shouldn't have trusted me.
yeah, and he
Yeah. Double.
doesn't he shoot the RPG to the plane
Yeah.
where the other group is in. So
Yeah, with the rocket launcher.
I mean,
And it blows up.
obviously they're alive, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's why it's kind of ridiculous to like leave this on a cliffhanger where it's like, nobody died in this movie. There's no way that not even John Cena's character. Like I don't think he's dead.
yeah, no, there's
So
no
like
way.
with how ridiculous these movies have been, and for you to like try to leave it on a cliffhanger, it's like there's no way that you expect your audience to believe, especially with the next scene showing Giselle how she's alive. It's like, guys. Nobody dies in these movies.
The only one that I can say that maybe really did die was the guy during that race.
The drag race, yeah.
In the Porsche.
I think he's the only one that actually.
probably actually-
But
and
he might be
apparently-
alive though.
But we didn't see a body.
No.
Nobody.
It might have been another hologram. We don't know.
Yeah, that's where
So
Mr.
nobody
Nobody was. He was like, I put a hologram there before the race. I knew it was gonna happen, and whatever explanation he wanted to give, that
I'm
makes
sure
no sense.
Mr.
I just like that
Nobody,
magic trick.
He's probably gonna show up in the next one.
he for sure is going to show up, but I feel like he's either
If it
gonna
is a
be
finale,
with Giselle.
then yes.
He's either with Giselle,
He's probably
Or-
driving the submarine.
or he escaped,
it.
or I don't know. He's somewhere.
I feel like they're bringing back Tokyo Drift characters in the submarine. That's my heavy feeling. They went from rockets. I mean, they got to do some crazy technical stuff to already know how to work a submarine. I mean, it only makes sense.
Maybe the submarine will go to space.
Oh my god.
If it is the end of the series, and hopefully it is for all of our sakes, that they do kind of bring back all the characters.
I would like to see all of them like kind of end there.
Like they'll have a
Yeah.
portals
Yeah, and they
scene,
have,
like an Endgame.
and then they have Vin Diesel in
On
the
your
front of
left.
the
What if
pack.
somebody says like on your right in the next movie? I'm gonna die. I'm
Yes, that would be
I think I might walk out and like buy another ticket. I'm like,
They all
these guys know exactly what they're doing.
Just to watch that
It
part
is-
again.
They say
On your right.
like no joke. It's stupid to say, but this movie's like Infinity War.
And that's how they bring back Paul Walker.
It's Infinity War.
That's
They
how they
left
bring
it on
back
the-
Paul Walker.
They
on
left
your
it on the
right.
cliffhanger, thinking that people that even though I didn't think that everyone was dead in Infinity War either, but it was more believable in Infinity War.
I mean, it was cool to kind of change it up and end it on a cliffhanger, especially knowing that this is a part 2 or part 1 of 2. But yeah, I do agree. It should have just ended with the scene of
The dam
the
exploded.
dam exploding and all the water coming in, and then that's it. It fades to black, and that's it. But
Yeah, because
no,
at that
they-
point,
Then no credits.
because at that point they already drove down the dam, and then the car just went to the water. And they
the
got
Hot Wheels,
Yeah.
Literal Hot Wheels.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got out of the car, and then they found some rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
To wash up
Vin
all the
Diesel was
water.
finally like, "Oh, I don't know what to do now because I'm not in my car.
I have no
And
family.
There's a
I
bunch
have
of
no
there's
car.
gonna be a tidal wave of water about to come.
It's like take off the suit. What are you?
yeah. So who knows?
Now, I do want to say they did something right for the entire movie, which was the car choice for everyone. Yes, it was ridiculous to have a gold Lamborghini,
Yeah, but it matched to everyone's
Yeah,
but it
style.
matched everyone's style. So the one that I really appreciated the most out of all car selections was really the Datsun, obviously for Han, because that just it fit so
Yeah,
well
it's-
for him, and
too
because
cool. It's too cool
I
for
think
school.
I could be wrong, but I think that was one of like the first cars he wanted to be in the Fast and Furious franchise, and then they didn't end up like giving it to him or something like on those lines. I'm not sure. And then another car choice that I really appreciated was, of course, the Porsche. I mean, having that guy even show up in a Porsche and keeping his character true to a German vehicle like that, especially in Brazil, where they love German cars,
This is Brazil.
Also amazing.
Oh, how about the
He was
electric
he was
DeLorean?
German.
The electric.
Oh.
That was
Yeah.
such a cool cameo.
The electric DeLorean at the beginning of the movie.
That was awesome. And then right in front of it was Puke, which was the electric Challenger or Charger. I forget what it is. The electric Challenger, the Hornet, or the Banshee, I think they called it. That it was electric. It sounds like an actual cat was like stuck in a trash disposal.
Oh wait,
I mean-
is that the one where they put like the fake engine
Yes.
sounds
Yeah. No.
or exhaust sounds?
The
or whatever
exhaust
they're
sounds for the electric motors, which makes no sense, like whatsoever. I also thought it was appropriate.
called? Why didn't you just build a?
It was
That it was
with a-
Cypher's
with a
car?
gas engine?
yes, and it was also fitting that John Cena was in a Fox body. I don't know what it was. It just fit him. It was nice to see him in that, and to also know that he's also a car guy outside of the movies. It was also
he drives
refreshing.
he drives a.
It was an Alfa Romeo that he got restored, or what was it that he got
No, like
restored?
in real life, he drives
Yeah.
like a is it a Subaru or something?
Wasn't it a Civic?
Oh no, yeah, sorry, it was a Civic,
Yes,
Honda Civic.
yeah, it was a Civic.
That's what it
It's
was.
so cool
Like,
to see him like.
Basic Honda Civic. That's
Yeah.
his car.
No, I
That's
think
so-
it
or
was a
souped
Type
up.
R or something.
Yeah, it was a
I think he
Civic.
said
The
Type
older
R.
one, right?
I don't know what year he said.
There was a baby blue car that he got restored, and I saw that on TikTok. And seeing him freak out about that car, you're like, wow.
In the movie
This
though,
dude
he
can-
was driving a 5.0.
He was driving the Fox Body 5.0.
I like that scene though because it was funny where when they escaped the
And
house
Little B's like-
with his nephew and he's like, "Oh, this is your car's a big ass
He's
truck."
like, hey,
He's like, "No, it's over here. It's some
That I
like
also really like.
Little B's like, what?
If I'm honest, yeah, we all kind of expected like, yeah, big bulky truck, yeah, get out of here. Yeah, no, we're getting this little rinky dinky shit box of
With a rocket
Fox Body.
attached.
He also said like, "Oh no, that's terrible in gas."
Yeah, which is so weird to say because he literally has an older car that probably gets about 3 or 4 miles to the gallon, which is another.
And then you had
Great point.
Dante with like a purple car, a purple
I don't even know what that
Chevy
was.
Impala,
Oh, it was
that
an
was
Impala.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was interesting.
like
that-
shit
the
that
Joker,
or something.
purple.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was
think they were
interesting-
trying their best to
Yeah.
evoke
that was an
Joker
interesting
vibes.
choice because you have Dom, that's Dodge, and Dodge Challenger, Dodge Charger, Dodge everything. Then you have John Cena, the brother of Dom, in Ford Mustang when you see him in 9, and now the Fox body,
which is still a Mustang.
and then you have the villain now in a Chevy, which doesn't make sense because Chevy's always better. But that's just personal preference. I guess.
This is the guy that has a VW.
Yeah. And what are you gonna say?
I don't remember if they did in 9, but this movie brought back at least one scene of racing, which it seems like they should do at least in every movie. But I don't think they did it.
Like
in 9.
one group, like big group up car meet.
It's one of those. It's one of those check off things at Christmas.
Yeah, they just check it out.
I don't
drag
They have to,
race.
they have to have a race, and before they race, they have to show slow-mo dancing of all these women in the whatever country they're
They
in.
did
And
do
like
it in
flashes
9.
of like all the cars.
They did it with the time, the younger version of themselves.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Like-
young
like that-
Dom and Letty.
Like
Yeah.
the first movie,
Yeah.
Dom and Letty and Jacob and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, the one where he like kicks him out of the city apparently.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. How do you kick your own brother out of like an entire city because of I don't know. Whatever. That
because he owns
That movie
the
was-
streets.
that's like
or
me.
something.
Yeah.
That's like me telling my brother.
Because when
like,
they were doing those flashback scenes in 9, how old was Dom supposed to be?
He was supposed to be
Like
like a little
15 or
younger than what he was in the first one.
Right,
I
and he
think-
looked nothing.
They
like,
they looked so bad.
like you could just, if you wanted to, you could say, okay, maybe he's like 23 in the first Fast and Furious movie.
Like
So in that-
they're
in that movie-
Hispanic. Like their characters are supposed to be Hispanic.
Toretto, I think, is Italian.
Wait, Toretto, I think is an Italian name, but
but they speak
like their
Spanish,
background
right?
is like some kind of Hispanic.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I don't know if they've ever explicitly said like if they're like I don't know Dominican or Puerto Rican or whatever.
They're from Brazil.
This is Brazil.
Yeah, one thing I
But
did
he looks
notice
something like
actually, since we're bringing up 9, they did the backstory of Dom all wrong with the dad.
Yeah, and the
They
wrench.
did that. Yeah, apparently it was a wrench, and then they used this. It was a socket
tire
wrench.
Well, they tried to do it, but I
yeah,
feel like it was
first
off.
it was a socket wrench, then it was a monkey wrench,
Was it a tire iron?
then it was a tire iron,
Uh,
and then it was something different. When they brought it out, it was something completely
the
different.
multiverse. So these are different
Yeah,
dads.
so,
different dads.
you know,
So Vin
Wait.
2.0 is gonna come in.
Not his
Yeah,
dad.
Vin.
Hold on, it's not his dad. It's his father. do you remember that in Fast 5? Him and Paul Walker are talking
Oh,
at night, and
yeah.
Paul Walker's talking about like his father,
Yeah, fuck.
and then and then it goes to Vin Diesel. He's like, I never knew much about my father. Like the way he said it was so weird. Like you can go on YouTube and watch it later, and then it's hilarious.
But the only
how he
way-
pronounces father.
The only way that I remember Dom saying anything about his dad, especially in a funny way like that, was in Fast and Furious 1, where he goes, he's in the garage pointing at pictures of his dad. He goes, "That's my dad." like, okay, nice, Junior. Yeah. Yeah, he says he didn't know much about his dad, but apparently
But,
he did
yeah, he
everything
was-
with his dad
did-
and did all the racing with his dad. So
Racing
how did
the whole
he-
thing. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I guess they needed to make
They don't go-
like the whole Jacob thing more convincing and more of like a
Because
I
John
don't know.
Cena looks like Vin Diesel. Like they look
Oh,
like
yeah.
brothers,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but not at all.
Same
But
in
I- like,
stature and
yeah.
face and yeah, totally.
like the younger versions, especially the
he's
younger
younger
version
too,
of Dom
yeah,
just
and
did
he's
not
younger.
look anything.
I did find it
Like
funny
he looked
how
more Hispanic.
He's taller, bigger, and like he looks older than Vin Diesel.
yeah,
It's like I don't know how this is your younger brother.
and he looked more Hispanic, like the younger actor that played him than what Vin
Because he
Diesel
probably
actually looks
was.
like.
no,
No, for sure.
They're only
I'm sure he
missing.
was.
They're only missing one resurrection, or at least two at this point. Is
Probably what's Mia's
well,
brother? Probably.
no, from Fast and Furious 1, the guy that drives the Volkswagen Jetta.
Oh, the guy that
Any
got
of the-
like murdered
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
He
street.
got drive-by'd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they need to bring him back somehow back to life, and they also
Nah,
need to
he's
bring
gone.
They
back.
can't because back then they actually had
They
stakes.
actually died.
People
They
actually
didn't
died.
have
They had
superpowers.
stakes and people actually died.
They had no super serum.
Yeah.
And who was the person? Don't say Jesse.
No,
The guy that was in the
Yeah.
first movie
Yeah.
that ended up dying in part 5. The like a-hole guy that was part of Dom's crew.
just
Oh, the
No, it was Mia's brother.
oh no,
No,
Jesse
the
and
other
then,
guy. The guy that got in a fight with Paul Walker in the first movie.
Oh, you embarrassed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Oh my god!
But he was in.
He drives the Maxima.
He was in Fast 5. He came back in Fast 5, and he ends up dying in Fast 5.
Wait, where he turns himself in and like it's like his not the cop buddy.
Yes, where they
Leon.
introduced the
Vince.
Rock.
Vince.
It was in 5. Where
Vince, isn't that
Vince? Yeah, they need to bring back Vince.
Vince is
now.
Mia's
Their best friend.
They were just friends.
best friend. Oh no, that's right. Yes,
They were
because
friends.
he was like romantically involved. I think.
Yeah.
With Mia, that's what it was. Sorry.
And then
Or he
No,
wanted to
Mia's brother is Dom. What am I saying?
and Brian O'Connor stole her from
Yes,
Vince.
that's what it was. That's who I'm
But
thinking.
so yeah,
Corona.
they brought Vince back for Fast 5, and then he ends up dying. in 5.
he actually.
So it's like I feel like 5 may be like the last.
But they actually buried him,
movie
didn't
that like someone died in.
Didn't they actually bury Vince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
They buried him in the movie, I think.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Yeah,
he's
but
dead.
he
He's
could always
confirmed.
do a super shit and go like, oh, like his hand pops out. And
What? Someone died in 7 because there was a funeral in 7.
Where they said, I don't want any more funerals.
Yeah.
The last one is him.
well, Giselle
That
died in 6.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the funeral was.
Paul Walker.
No. Oh my god. Or was that? No. No, now I'm drawing a blank.
Or was that supposed to be it wasn't for Han, was it?
No, because Han technically died
In
years
Japan.
later in Japan, which was part 3, because of their
that happened in
wacky.
7. Oh no, that's right. Because
Oh, they were at Han's funeral.
it was
Oh,
Han. Okay, it was Han's
Wow,
funeral.
what?
Because that was in 7, right? Because at the end
Such
of
a weird
6,
timeline now. What?
at the end of 6 is when they show
The clip. The
Right
The
at the end
Tokyo
of
Drift
at
clip.
the end of 6 is when they show Jason Statham calling, and that was like the end credit scene. You're like, that was when you realize that these like past 3 movies were past
Before,
movies.
yeah, because
before
they had
Tokyo Drift.
scene,
So
yeah.
you're like, holy
They had
crap.
they had that whole scene. So
Dude, I
that
was
clip
floored.
Hans.
I was like so surprised when they made that.
That was cool, but
Yeah,
then
it was
now they
cool.
ruined it with Han.
Now everyone's
disappearing.
alive.
But like 7 as a movie wasn't that bad either.
I liked
No,
them.
5,
That
6,
was great.
7 were like
They were good.
you know.
They're legit.
Kind of like
Good.
the height, like the.
They were that healthy middle.
Yeah.
That was that middle. Now they're just like on
But
that.
Tokyo Drift will still probably be my favorite.
Yeah, I think Tokyo.
I think
Drift's
Tokyo Drift
top
was ahead of
favorite?
its time when it came out, though.
It was because
Yeah.
in the
It really
future.
was.
'Cause
The
it was-
Yes, technically speaking, yes. But production-wise,
The car scenes were
so
awesome.
ahead of its
All the
time.
car scenes were awesome.
And it was actually
everything
pure
else
racing.
was
It was
terrible.
pure racing, and the drifting I think is the coolest.
1, 2, and
Yeah.
3. It was
It's the Holy
was an
Grail.
era.
Those are the Holy Grails that you
Like the
cannot.
golden
You
age.
I don't
can't
know.
do anything
I
about.
really didn't like 2 at all.
They even brought in the guy
Two was
that
alright.
was
Like Tuxedo Cut.
Yeah, they even brought in the guy that made drifting popular. I forget his name.
Yeah, he.
And you've only
was
said his name
in
like
the
100
dock.
times.
He was in the dock with them while they were practicing.
Yeah, and they didn't mention him, nothing. But he was also
He
helping,
had a
obviously,
cameo.
in the production.
I mean, he was probably just like a
it was also probably,
random character, not like him as himself.
and he was probably a stunt driver, but we probably don't know. Like he
Probably.
was probably the one drifting the Evo. We don't know.
Also, we never
Through
got
Crossing.
Eva Mendes back,
Yeah,
even
which is
though they
surprising.
teased her
yeah.
in a cameo.
She
works with
No, post-credits
Hobbs,
with
apparently.
Hobbs.
cameoed in was it
6,
5.
5.
Do you believe
the
in
credit
ghosts?
scene of 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she never came back.
She never
So
came
maybe
back.
she'll come back.
That would be cool if she's, or if they do like, if it's not Hobbs and Shaw 2, but if it's just like Hobbs spinoff,
Yeah.
if she is like prominently in that
With-
movie.
Probably.
Maybe
I'm
she'll be
surprised she
with
wasn't
him.
in Hobbs and
Me
Shaw.
too.
And Little Nobody. I mean, Mr.
Little nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, little nobody.
We barely talked about Ludacris. We can't not do a whole podcast without mentioning Ludacris. I mean, even though he didn't do much in the movie, but we just have to shout out Ludacris.
Oh yeah, shout out
Because
Ludacris.
this was Fast 10 featuring Ludacris. So that's what makes it better. Anything featuring
I
Ludacris
do
makes
love
it better.
how he could still sneak in his cars in each movie.
I like the what was it when they were doing the mission and they made like the mini car with Ludacris?
With the bobblehead.
Like the bobblehead.
I think they just call it like little
Tiny Ted.
or Tiny Ted.
Tiny
Yeah,
Ted.
Tiny Ted.
That was funny.
Tiny Ted.
It's like this movie had its moments. Like it was funnier than 9. I think the action was better than 9 because it had wacky, crazy car scenes, but they had a lot of like fighting, like fist fighting scenes, and it was actually well done. I
We had
liked the scene.
the fight scene at the end with Letty and Cypher.
Yeah, they had some cool
I
cool
think,
fisticuffs.
yeah, I think there's certain those fight scenes that you could see them actually fighting instead of just the motion of cameras moving and hits. when they actually choreographed their fights, it was
They looked good.
top notch.
Like the John Cena stuff in the house, that was cool.
Oh yeah.
It was like it wasn't just guns. It was kind of like almost like John Wick. It was like half gun, half like hand to hand combat. It was cool,
it was still creative and still engaging.
Even the cars had the action.
Hand to hand car action.
Hand car combat.
Wheel to wheel combat.
Combat against helicopters and the big balls that are bombs.
Whoa, big one.
Hey man, Dom kept ramming into that ball.
Oh my god.
He was ramming into that ball with his car.
Oh god.
In Rome.
Wait, I mean, listen.
When in Rome.
When in Rome, you know.
I think the only other characters too. I'm just thinking of all the other characters that should be in the group. In Too Fast, Too Furious.
I'll bring back what's her name? Aoki, probably.
Yeah, her and
Devin Aoki.
And who was the other like mechanic guy?
Oh my god, the other
Ludacris.
No, the other one that was with him that he had like the place.
I don't know, man. That movie is bad. I don't know.
You mean the guy that was playing poker and he was rapping? Man, I forgot his name. Is this the cast of Too Fast and Furious? I already got this. It's MC Chin as Jimmy. His name was Jimmy in
Jimmy,
Too Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Wait, or whether they goes like the guy that goes Monica.
Okay, that's Ja Rule.
That's
Ja Rule.
That's Ja Rule. Man, listen, Eminem ended his career. Eminem ended.
I'm pretty sure, like,
it's all good.
That's why Ludacris was in these movies because Ja Rule didn't come back.
We're missing the
This
best
guy.
one. Hector.
Well, wasn't I thought
The Mexican guy?
Hector.
There was a while where he was in so many movies and he was the
Just
same
named
guy.
Hector.
Yeah. He was the same way. Well, that's his name in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy
he
from
just
Too
plays
Fast
Hector
and
in
Furious.
every single movie. In Bruce Almighty,
Yeah.
everything.
He was in a lot of movies. He was in Training Day.
Yes.
He was in a bunch of stuff.
All Hector. So where's he
I've
in
only
the
seen that
Fast
movie
and Furious
once.
franchise?
I think just like
Who knows?
I think it was just like Fast 6 or 7.
I think he's like, I'm only going to be in the serious ones. He didn't want to be in the ridiculous ones.
Yeah. I want to be in the more serious ones, not the ones where we go out into outer space, play soccer with our cars in Rome, play with magnets in Britain. Or what was it? Yeah, it was in Britain, right? I don't even know anymore.
Again, I don't
Yeah, but that
remember
magnet
9.
thing was rough.
That was out of left field also.
Oh yeah, because in 9, was it that they were being more self-aware, and what I forget these.
No.
They were pretty self-aware in this
10
one too.
was self-aware.
No, like the self-aware where like they get shots like like
I'm
Yeah,
invincible.
Tyrese was like, I think we're
yes.
invincible.
That was so
Tyrese.
bad. When the tank landed on him or whatever it was,
It was landed in front of him. It looked like it landed
on him.
It landed in front of him.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
Well, this movie had that whole sequence with Brie Larson and Alan Ritchson looking back at like the older movies and then pretty much talking to the camera like, oh, well,
They're superheroes.
they're superheroes and everyone they run into becomes their family and we're one barbecue away from being a family member.
I love that. That line like sent me so hard.
There's
to the
something
theater.
along those lines. It was like,
Oh man, I love.
but like it
love
was
that.
funny
a
and
little bit
like
like-
stupid at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like, what are they doing in this sequence? It was like obviously a green screen. They were just like
that whole
them two were
sequence was
just standing in a
weird
room
because
yeah.
it's like the camera just tracking them like it's like the camera's in a circle and it's like it just keeps
So
tracking them and it keeps switching, cutting back and forth.
so what happened
so
was
weird.
they ran out of settings
Ran
that
out of
they could
money
use.
because everyone was getting paid too much.
Yeah, so what they did was they hit up Pixar or whoever made The Incredibles,
Pixar.
not one Pixar, and they used that evil villain computer room, and they used that in the movie. You know, I think they've been getting cues from other movies that could still keep up with today's society.
Because it looked like that. It looked like a Cerebro room. It looked like a bunch of stuff.
As much as I've liked Brie Larson in other movies, I felt like she was kind of wasted in this movie. It's like, damn,
A little bit.
she didn't really do much.
For sure. Come.
She had like that one fight sequence at the bar, which was pretty cool. But then like,
But it's like, why was she even in that fight? Like, I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
She went there to go visit Dom. To my understanding, she had no idea where she was going.
Yeah.
And why would some guy start a fight with her to begin with? I don't know.
when she
How did she
gave
have a gun there? I don't know.
when she went into the Supermax prison in the middle of the ocean or wherever it is.
Antarctica to visit.
Yeah.
But she went there after the scene. She spoke with Dom.
Well, she got the necklace.
Yeah,
And she gave it to.
Yeah, because Dom asked her to give it to Letty.
Yeah.
Which there's something going on with that necklace. It's possessed. It's like its own entity. It's its own character. It should have its own line in the credits at this point.
It's in the poster.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a MacGuffin. It's just one of those MacGuffins. Or is that
That's
what
what
it's
they're
called?
gonna-
MacGuffin?
Yeah.
That's what like the exorcism they're gonna use on the exorcisms and
Yeah.
whatever Insidious movie or whatever next movie comes out. They're gonna use the cross that Dom has. But
Alright,
Dom's sister had a good fight scene too, even though it was like it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because she was whooping on big guys with armor on, and she was
With
like
pots and pans.
yeah,
still-
but she was like punching them and kicking them. It's like there's no way these guys are getting knocked down by your
Like,
kicks.
trained-
and these guys they're huge guys and they have body armor.
She is trained by Vin Diesel, which is Superman,
doesn't
and
matter.
freaking Paul Walker.
True. And
doesn't matter.
Paul Walker is somewhere behind the scenes teacher of some moves.
Yeah.
And then Vin Diesel just like then John Cena just picks him up, and just throws him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
who
right,
else did we
so-
miss? I think we got everybody right.
yeah.
I probably
Did we mention the hacker?
Yeah.
What's her name again?
I probably mentioned it before. Yeah, I did. In
Ramsey?
The previous,
Ramsey. Yeah.
I mentioned
Oh, yeah.
in the previous
She's
podcast
barely
to
on.
make the 200 mile an hour watching party as a drinking game. I think another one is watching through Fast and Furious movies and finding plot holes as a drinking game. We'll probably get some pretty much plastered on that one.
Yeah. This movie is better than the Fast and Furious ride at Universal.
Yes.
Oh, 9 is better than the ride in Universal.
And that's saying
I don't know about
It's
that
close.
because
That
at
is
least the
saying
ride,
something.
the ride is not like 2.5 hours. So
no, but the line to do the ride is
you don't get in
used to be
line
2.5
if it's that
hours.
long. You don't get in line for that ride.
What was your rule? If it's more than like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's more than
If
5
it's more than
minutes.
5 minutes,
Well,
don't
when you went, the picture.
When
you
I
sent
went,
us-
it was like 7 minutes. I was like, oh great.
No, they got the Simpsons down that way. Maybe they got Jaws
Dude,
back
the party
here.
bus, man. You guys have to go on the
It's
party
so
bus.
bad. You gotta go. Just
Okay,
to,
okay,
So you've never been on it?
the Fast and Furious now.
You?
yeah.
Okay. Party bus.
Well, so Danny just recently came back from Universal and he took a picture of
The wait time.
the ride. It was
It
a
was
55-minute
minutes.
wait
Ridiculous.
What?
Ridiculous.
Okay.
on a Monday or a Tuesday, whatever it was.
Well, the reason was it started raining, so
Oh.
I guess everyone went inside
Like,
to the
alright.
closest ride, and they're like, "Oh, I guess this."
Like, yeah, I gotta stay dry. You know?
Yeah.
Might as well just make this line or just sit here. You know, I'd rather just sit in the line, not even ride the ride. Just stay dry. All right, so if we're ranking all the movies, the ride is right at the bottom.
So I was gonna say, if you guys want to give your final rating, I don't know if we're gonna do it the same way we do our ratings for other movies, but if you want to just maybe do your rating within the franchise, I think that'll be a better.
maybe both.
So I should like give my rankings of where I rank all.
I mean, I don't have my own
Because
ranking.
I wrote them down. I wrote them
because
down.
I don't think we have it, but if
I
you
have
want
it right
to,
here.
then
Well,
sure.
we do
It's-
have this,
Yeah.
which is like
Anthony has his.
but
But yeah, Anthony, if you want, you
I
can
would
go
probably
give your
make a
ranking.
couple of changes.
Okay, so
on mine.
my ranking of the whole series, I'm going from best to worst, or should I go it the other way? Worst to best.
Worst to best.
Worst to best. F9, the Fast Saga, because that's what they called it.
they called it F9
Yeah.
the Fast Saga.
That's what it was called.
That's
F9.
that's the official
but
title.
the
Like-
whole thing is called the Fast Saga. What the actual?
They called it
Flip.
a button on your keyboard. That's what they called it. F9. And then
Some of the,
They're gonna fill up
Well-
the whole function row by this point.
well, by the way, the naming of these movies, they have potential.
no, they've lost. They've
They're so
lost.
bad.
I mean, look, the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay, that's fine.
The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Whatever.
Alright. Fast and Furious.
Terrible.
No,
Should've-
No,
should've been
no Fast and
Furious.
Furious 4.
No Furious.
No Furious.
Fast and Furious. Why? Why not? if you're gonna go all out, you might as well
Fast
do that.
Five.
Because then they did Fast 5, and then Fast 6,
Furious 7.
then Furious 7, and then Fate, but stylized as F and the number 8. F8, Fate of the Furious, and then just F9,
F9, the Fast Saga.
the Fast Saga,
And then
Fast X.
and then just
X.
Fast X.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Fast
X.
I would
The
have
next one should just be called FX2. It's just called FX2.
No, the last movie.
FXX.
The last movie just has to be
the
completely
movies.
the opposite. Slow and curious.
There you go.
All right.
So the worst one.
How this going?
Slow and careful.
So far there's been 11 movies. So 11, I put F9. Number 10, Too Fast, Too Furious. Number 9, Fast and Furious, which is the 4th movie.
Yeah.
Number 8, Fast X. So I put this one as number 8 out of the 11.
Wait, what was number 10 again? You said
Too Fast. There's only 11
Wait,
so
so
far.
this is our list.
This is my list.
You're putting
same
Too
one's
Fast so
on our-
low.
Yeah, that's my list.
Okay, sure.
That's my ranking.
No, you're putting Too Fast so low.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
All right,
it's
all right.
it's not good, at
I
least to me.
respect it.
Number 7, Fast and the Furious, the original. Number 6, Fate of the Furious. Number 5, Hobbs and Shaw. Number 4, Tokyo Drift. Number 3, Fast 6. Number 2, Furious 7. Number 1, Fast 5. So yeah, this one is like, maybe I would move it a couple of spaces. So that's why I kind of said it's like someone in the middle. So it's not terrible compared to the other ones, but it's not nowhere near as good as those top 3 that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Like 5, 6, and 7 are pretty damn cool action movies. But yeah, I mean, it's a
I think my
Fun
list
movie.
is pretty similar, but I'll have it.
numbers wise, so maybe like a 6.5. I'd give it 6.5. Nozes is what I would give it.
Nozes?
Of this one, Fast 10.
Yeah. It was entertaining. Like I'll watch it again. I'll go watch it again.
Yeah.
9, I don't want to watch again.
So,
9 was like, ugh. Most of the time I'm laughing at the ridiculousness. 9, I was like rolling my eyes, like, okay, this is overboard. This is rough.
So for me, I have a pretty similar list as yours, but I do like Tokyo Drift and the first one a little higher than how you had it.
Tokyo Drift is my number 4. It's pretty
Oh,
high.
I think you had the first one then.
The first one I had at number 7.
7, yeah. And I did also really like Hobbs and Shaw, even though it's a spin-off. But I'd put Fast 10 definitely above Fast 9. Probably a little over Fast 8 for me.
Nice.
And higher than 4 and Too Fast, Too Furious. So somewhere in the middle around there. Maybe like 6 or 7.
Do we all agree that like Dante was the best part of the movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jason Momoa.
I was really
He carried
happy.
it. He carried it. a
I was
little bit.
really happy to see the direction they went with this character. I was a little worried that he would be too serious, but then they made
He
him
wasn't.
the funny villain,
Yeah.
and I love that.
He was like
I-
funny, but like also menacing.
He was
Yeah,
So
so,
it's like-
you hated him, but you loved him when he was on the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I think the direction they went was pretty top notch.
When he says, "Hi, I'm Dante," Ashante, I was just like, just like the delivery was too good. I was
The little, like-
it was so good.
Whatever you
It
did.
is like he's pretending like to hold the
Skirt, like-
Ashante. the part in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
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 I think Ashante, and he pulls his like puffy shirt.
But yeah, I'd probably put Fast 10 somewhere in the middle of the franchise. Definitely better than some of the worst ones, and not as good as some of the best ones. And rating wise, I'll go somewhere between like a 6 and a 6.5. So,
Yeah,
I think for me,
decent.
I also agree with Anthony's list, except for the top 4, where I would put Tokyo Drift first, and then 7, then maybe 5 and then 6, or 6 and 5. I'm kind of torn between the two. And I would probably give this movie probably not as high. I'll give it like a 5.5. I think 5.5 is a fair assessment.
I would agree with you with the Tokyo Drift as number 1 if you're going solely based on
By
car scenes. Because
pure racing.
the drifting
it's the
and
only one
racing
that has
scenes
racing.
in that movie are awesome. But
Yeah.
the movie itself, I think, is terrible. Like the acting is terrible in that. movie.
Okay, but do we watch these
And-
movies?
But the thing is, the acting in that movie is worse than almost all the other ones, and that's pretty bad because
Maybe.
the acting is not great in these movies in general. So like to me, when like the main character
Never has been.
what's his name, Lucas, like
Oh yeah, Lucas.
his acting was rough.
Well, Lucas Black. I guess
Yeah,
his
Lucas
name,
Black, Bow Wow was rough. So I mean, yeah, I'm not going to watch these movies for the acting.
I don't think
but
Bow Wow
when-
was that
But
bad.
when it's
But
that
Bow Wow was
bad,
bad.
I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah, we had the Hulk. The Hulk.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Han was
The
good.
Hulk-
Han was
the
good,
Hulk
which
was
is
a
why
sound?
people like his character. Han was good in that movie.
Yeah.
But we can all agree the best song from
Oh,
Fast and Furious
We're
is
talking about
definitely
songs.
the Tokyo Drift
the
song.
Tokyo Drift
Oh,
song
1,000%.
It's too.
1,000%.
by
too
Teriyaki
iconic.
Boys.
It's very iconic.
Number one, best song in the whole F9 Fast Saga. But yeah.
And then Chris, what's your
I'm doing best to worst, and my list is pretty easy to follow along with. So obviously the Holy Grail, Fast and Furious 1, 2 Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, 1, 2, and 3, perfect where they are. They cannot be touched. Then there's obviously 5, 6, and 7, another great trio to watch in succession, of course. And then there's the spin-off. I count myself... I count on the list as Hobbs and Shaw was a pretty good one, even though it's a spin-off. And then we skip all the way down to the bottom because nothing else matters. All the other ones are trash. That's just my firm belief.
8, 9, 10.
so that was 4, 8.
4,
9 and
8,
10?
9, 10, all at the
8
very
wasn't
bottom.
that bad. I think
No.
8 was actually
I
like.
actually don't like 4.
I think.
I don't like 4.
Yeah, 4.
I don't like
I think
4
4
either.
was like one of the worst reviewed ones.
I think
But I think 8 was one of the like second or third highest reviewed one.
4, the only thing banking on it was the tunnel scene.
Oh,
Through the
and they
mountain.
brought it back in Fast X.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you
Which
remember
I-
this?
When they were trying to cross
Remember
the
this from
border?
that movie?
Yeah,
or
which I
something?
noticed.
That's where the hangout spot was. That they were supposed to meet Dom with his son. That's
Yeah.
where John Cena took his son in those tunnels.
Yeah.
I was like, remember this from number 4 that nobody liked?
Yeah. And
Is
if I
that
were
really
to-
what it was?
Yeah, those are the same tunnels.
I didn't notice
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
If I were to...
Damn, see, that's how bad they telegraphed that you
If,
didn't even know that's what that was.
if I was supposed to give it a rating, I would give it a 4 out of 10 Coke Gang approves.
Oh.
And that's saying something.
Nice.
That is low. Just for the Fast 10 low.
But you liked it better than 9.
I liked it better than 9. 9 gets a 0, of course. Because
Yeah, it was
they lost the
terrible.
farther they went up in the atmosphere, the lower the rating rep for me.
There was a correlation.
Yeah, exactly.
They tried to shoot
the-
too high only to.
The only reason I'm even
fall
giving
low.
Fast X some sort of score is because one, they check marks on comedy, they check marks on decent action, and they check marks on at least keeping it still car related and still putting in unique cars that you don't really see in every other movie.
Or they had
Right.
McLaren Senna. For
Yeah.
like a brief.
For
moment
with
with
Shaw, and that
Deckard.
was one of the coolest cars to see in the movie.
He was about
And
to
then we
go
see
kill
nothing.
folks.
And then we see
climbs into
nothing.
it and he drives off, and that's it.
And then we see nothing. I really hope they keep the continuity on that because I still want to. I want to see the McLaren on the big screen like that.
They need to show him roll up,
Yes.
kill a bunch of fools, save Helen Mirren, his mom.
Yes.
Because
They'll probably just show like the scene of him finishing.
No, they better
killing
not.
everyone, and
No.
then
They better not do it because they kind of did that in 7 when they introduced him. They showed
Yeah.
like the aftermath of what he did in the
Yeah.
hospital, which was a cool entrance. But yeah, they better
Yeah, we
not
need to
shy
see
away
more.
from him wasting fools.
I also saw that they kept the F1 ramp car in the background
Oh,
of that
yeah.
garage. I thought that was so cool. They kept that there.
Yeah.
That's really
that was a cool
His brother's car, right?
sequence.
Yeah.
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 Well, like the whole group had it
Mhm.
pretty much.
Which
It was like
where
3 or
were
4
those
of them.
cars? They invaded his whole like I guess unit or something. They killed everyone. All of a sudden, there's like cars there, like out of nowhere.
No, I think that would have been like a different part of his.
Oh, there's
His
part of the
house.
whole thing. Oh, yeah. That's how fast the
And Furious.
movie kind of how Fast and Furious the movie kind of like throws everything at you. You just
Yeah.
forget details, and you're just like, that was a okay movie.
Yeah, that's why throughout this whole review we're here like forgetting names, forgetting
Yep.
things,
Forgetting actions.
And this
that
movie
happened.
only came out when, like a month ago,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
like a month
3
and
weeks
a
ago?
half, maybe.
Yeah.
And then F9 just felt like it came out like forever ago, and I don't want to remember it.
Yeah, it's at that point where you're just like, I don't remember when it came out. I don't.
Did
I
it,
don't wanna
did it come
know
out
that I was
2020, 2021? year one?
21.
2021. Yeah, like
So-
during
Only a
COVID.
couple years, damn.
So do you think because how bad 9 was, or at least how it was received, is the reason why this one didn't make that much money?
Possibly.
Because
I feel like maybe people are just like
This one doesn't have the excuse of
over
COVID.
it.
COVID is technically over. People are going back to the movie theaters.
yeah, like
So
like
you
we're all
can't make that
returning to
excuse.
Normal.
You could have made that excuse for 9 not making money
yeah.
because it was in the middle of
Yeah,
COVID.
Yeah, because you have like these big movies like
But
Marvel. And
the
stuff
box
like
office for
Nine still made
F9
out.
is 726
Right,
million.
so it made that much during COVID, and that's because it was riding the coattails of the previous one.
But
Oh,
you
eight?
know what shot them in the foot was just streaming services. So
Yeah.
people are just like, oh, it's in the theaters. I could wait a little bit longer for this really bad movie to come out in
don't blame
HBO
them.
Max or Amazon Prime.
Well, it's Universal, so it might be on like Peacock or something.
HBO Max.
It's usually between the two. It'll split
Well, the
between the
current
two.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have some weird deal like with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. Now,
So we'll see. I mean, they already announced Ludacris, and some other people already announced that Part 2 is coming out in
April of
2025. So
Now, there's only like
see.
this is slightly off topic, but I'm gonna make it on topic. The reason this movie's franchise is not failing is just because the dead horse is being beaten. The best example of bringing a movie back in style and in fashion was Top Gun.
yeah,
That honestly, I think, was the best revival of just bringing back one more movie, the best way possible for any franchise in like recent years. I mean, you watch Fast and Furious every 2-3 years or so, and you're just like, wow, let's see where they took it. They bring back, Top Gun out of nowhere, and you're like, wait a minute,
30 years.
they actually did some really good stuff with this one. They actually even put him on a mission this time.
So what you're saying is, in 30 years, they're gonna
Do another
they're gonna reboot Fast and Furious and start from scratch.
And then it's gonna be a
Amazing.
collaboration with Top Gun.
Or Transformers.
And then Vin Diesel.
Or
probably-
Jurassic Park.
don't
G.I.
remind
Joe.
me that's like a
Hey,
possibility.
it could be
still.
Transformers.
Let's please. Let's
With G.I. Joe.
Or Jurassic
I
Park.
thought that's what they were doing in Transformers. Hey man, what's better than Dom driving his car when his car transforms? That's even better. Could you imagine?
Launches him out with like a handgun or something.
Be insane if they did
Man.
that.
All right, so I
can
think
wait to
that'll wrap up our Fast X episode.
So next week is The Flash.
Next week we'll discuss The Flash, so make sure to tune in on that. Make sure to check in on our Twitter and Instagram, where we'll post some movie recommendations. Then also make sure to check out Chris and Coat Gang for all your car and photography needs.
Yeah, I just want to shout out really quick. I do have a project coming up. It's coming up next year. I'm working on it with someone else that's in the podcast room that I'm not going to mention.
Me.
Can we not?
Oh, Xavier?
There's a
Xavier?
small,
Nice.
yeah. There's a small project that I'm working on. I hope you guys can at least be around for that. It's coming out
For sure.
sometime next year, February. It's not too far, but it's not too close either. But it's something that we're starting on, and I'm actually really excited about it. So, yeah, check me out on Instagram, Coat COAT Gang GANG official. That's basically every social media you can find me on. So, yeah.
Nice.
Well, thanks for joining in on the podcast, and we'll be back with Xavier next week. And just like Xavier always says, stay poppin', and we'll see you guys next time.
Family.
Oh God. Family. Family. I am
Oh my God.
Groot.
We are family.
Are we doing lines from Fast? Like,
I guess. Oh, well.
this
Fast
is
and
Brazil. Here we do the Cuban mile or whatever. What was
You know
it?
what? Hey, you know what, you guys? Say, don't worry about it, cut.
All right. Later, guys.